the atoms?
No, we had issues with that in the
Yeah.
past when we
How
first
so?
started the company. Well, we were getting stuff made in these places that do supplements. And so we were third-party testing our stuff and finding things in our supplements that weren't supposed to be in there, like different vitamins. Like, why is that in there? And in trace amounts. And it turns out it's contamination.
That's right.
And that's a lot of athletes actually get popped from small levels of steroids that are in like protein powders and creatines and things that they buy from, kind of shady organizations.
My man Fernando Tatis, he got nailed for that last year, right?
What does he do?
He's a San Diego Padres. He's the right fielder now. He's there.
Well, there's a lot of claims that people get popped
know.
for that. And they get, like Canelo said, he had tainted meat from tacos. Oh, and they just happen to have steroids in them? And you look jacked as fuck?
Right,
okay,
exactly.
bro. Settle down, sir.
I think it does. Do steroids work if you're not like going to the gym? I mean,
No,
they
do not.
Do it, right?
But for athletes, they have a significant advantage, and they allow you to recover much quicker. It's there's certain sports. Well, if you call bodybuilding a sport, right?
Yeah,
it's
no,
impossible.
definitely.
It's impossible without steroids.
Some of these guys are just
you cannot
insane,
get to that size. You don't get to Ronnie Coleman size. You don't get to like Dorian Yates size. You don't get there without steroids.
My mother-in-law's size. My mother-in-law, tragically, she lost her. Would have been my oldest brother-in-law when he was about 16 years old. My wife's oldest brother, and she dedicated her life to just being the best person she could be. And she built her body up. My mother-in-law, Allison, I'm like emotional thinking about her because I love her so much. And she built her body, and she did this as like a Jewish grandmother, basically.
Wow.
And she's totally ripped. I mean, she's still in great shape, but this is like 10 or 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And I used to joke when I was dating my wife, Sarah, I was like, normally, like, take a girl out, scared of her father. Like, I'm terrified of your mother. She'll kick my ass. But, like, she never used to. I mean, she's, it's not her way anyway. But you can get cut, I think. You can get, like, low body fat without taking illegal stuff, probably. But you probably can't get the musculature, is what you're saying.
Oh, you can get very big without taking steroids. There's a lot of people that are massive without taking steroids. There's a lot of people that have fantastic genetics. There's a lot of people that have just thick, heavy builds. It's natural. Like there's many, many people like that. But to get to the size of a bodybuilder is superhuman. It's not possible without steroids. That is a science project. When you look at these people that have just traps that start at the top of their ears and boulders for sure, bowling ball shoulders, that's not possible. Yeah. I've met many people that are really fit and look fucking huge, and they don't do steroids. There's a lot in the UFC. The UFC USADA tests everybody, so they'll show up at your house at 6:30 in the morning. Wake up, sir. We need a urine test,
sample,
and we need a blood sample, and they do that all the time. And these jacked people don't get caught. They're doing it so sophisticated that even with USADA, which is the most sophisticated anti-doping program that we have available, and very invasive, right? Because it's a real problem. Like, it wakes guys up on weigh-in days and shit like that. It's not good. And they're trying to not to do that now, but you have to make sure that it's completely like you can catch them. So there's some short-acting testosterone supplements that you can take that, particularly now, apparently there's some new ones that they leave the body in like 2.5 hours. So you can take them and get an elevated level of testosterone. You could take them multiple times a day, and it doesn't affect your natural testosterone production, and it also doesn't show up if you get past that 2.5 hour window. So there could be a lot of people who are just rolling the dice.
I see. And how do the weigh-ins work? Because one of the things I was going to mention is, to when you weigh something, like what are you comparing it
The
against?
weigh-ins are sanctioned cheating. That's what it is. It is 100% sanctioned legal cheating. It's more than fasting. They use very sophisticated methods. This guy, Sugar Sean O'Malley, who just won the bantamweight title, Dan Gardner is his nutritionist, and I was actually just going back and forth with him on Instagram because I watched one of the videos that he did, and I was like, that is really impressive stuff. Dan Garner is what is his profile here? It's I think it's Dan Garner Nutrition, and Garner. So he's they're detailing how they cut weight. And one of the things they do is they eliminate carbs like very close out, and they do all these different things to water load, so your body gets used to like dumping water out a lot. It's very sophisticated. So when a guy weighs in this case, Sugar Sean weighed in at 135 pounds. He's 135 pounds for all of like an hour or so. And then he weighs in, and when he fights, he'll be in the 150s.
Wow.
He'll be somewhere in the 150s. And that's mild. His opponent, Aljamain Sterling, is absolutely massive for the weight class. So Aljamain, even though he weighs in at 135 pounds, he's walking around. I've seen him walking around in the 170s.
Wow, 135 is my birth weight.
He's he's not that small. When you stand next to him, like show an image of me standing next to him when I was interviewing him. He's fucking shredded. There's no way that guy's 135 pounds. I mean, a 135-pound person is a fairly small man.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking jacked. Wow. And so it's a magic trick. The best at it is this guy, Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira, who was the middleweight champion, he weighs in at 185 pounds. He fights at 220 plus. He's so massive. Like, you cannot believe.
I'm trying to get.
Okay, so that's him on the weigh-in day. Okay, it's not him weighing in, though. So he's significantly rehydrated by that point. Is there an image of me interviewing him at the post-fight?
Is there a technique to put on weight like safely before a fight? Like, is just drinking?
It's not safe.
It's not.
It's not safe. It's
you
very
think
bad.
These guys are compromising their
Yes,
lifespan? Okay.
100%. It's very bad for your organs. It's very bad for your body. But okay, so that's him. So look at that. That's 135 pounds. How the fuck? I weigh 200.
Yeah.
So look at me next to him. He's fucking gigantic. And I think he's, if not the best weight cutter in the sport, him and Pereira, they're in the running for it. Because Pereira, now show Alex Pereira. This fucking guy. This guy, you can't when he weighs in, I don't see the actual weigh-in. I go there for the ceremonial weigh-ins. And he's already put on probably 10 pounds of water by the time. So he'll weigh in first thing in the morning.
Wow.
And then by the time, that's him right there. Click on that link right there with me standing next to him. The one that you just had with his flexing upper right-hand corner of that one. So that's him weighing in. Wow. And his cheeks are sucked in, and he'll gain literally 40 pounds almost between them and fight night. It's fucking bananas.
They did a study, I think, in the 80s with Olympic hopefuls, and they said they made the following test to sprinters. They said, would you trade the following: a gold medal, guaranteed gold medal at the next games, if it meant you die at age 35?
They all say yes.
They all say, oh, it's like half of them said yes.
The other ones are losers.
But I've thought, I thought about it in the context of the Nobel Prize. You know, it's like how many scientists, have these things, because